following is a feature presentation of the Replay Sports Channel, the home for great games.
Hello again, everybody. This is Glenn Walker from the Replay Sports Channel studios, welcoming you to another episode of WFL Inside Access podcast. Today's episode, the WFL 2025 mock draft. WFL Inside Access is brought to you by Royal Retros, your ultimate one-stop shop representing the teams of the past. Head over to royalretros.com today and use the discount code REPLAY to get 10% off your purchase. The link to the site is in the description. The 2024 season has concluded, and now all 20 of the WFL clubs look toward the upcoming 2025 season. Our Inside Access crew has put together the first mock draft of the upcoming draft, and they discuss who they think will get the phone call on opening night of the draft.
All right, welcome to this deep dive. Today, we are zeroing in on one specific projection for the future of the WFL.
Yeah, we're looking at the 2025 mock draft, the one put out by the WFL Inside Access show.
Exactly. That's our source material today, just this single curated mock draft. It's put together by analysts who've, really studied the teams, looked at their needs, evaluated the players coming in.
Right, it's one specific take from people who follow this stuff closely.
And our mission is pretty clear. We're going to unpack this mock draft. We'll walk you pick by pick through the first 20 selections.
And pull out the key nuggets, right?
Yeah.
What does it tell us about the teams, the players, potential storylines?
Exactly. Think of it as your shortcut to understanding this one expert view of how the WFL draft might just shake out.
It's a great starting point. One informed perspective gives us a lens to see what these analysts think will happen right at the top. So let's dive in.
Okay, let's do it. And right away, the big story, the one everyone's talking about, QB's going 1 and 2 in this mock.
Yeah. That definitely sets the tone, doesn't it? Teams right at the top, often looking for that franchise guy.
Kicking things off at pick number 1, this mock draft has the Baltimore Stallions selecting Caleb Williams, QB from USC.
Okay.
Now, the source gives us a lot of context here. Baltimore, you might remember them as the Barcelona Dragons last year.
Yeah.
Finished 4-10. Their offense was, dead last in the entire league.
Dead last.
Yeah. And their run defense wasn't great either, ranked 17th. So a team clearly struggling.
Especially on that offensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. But here's where it gets really interesting. They didn't just, get the top pick by being bad.
Right. There was a trade involved.
Exactly. The source says they got this pick from San Antonio, gave up QB Jordan Love and their 4th rounder to move up.
Wow. Okay. That's a significant move. Shows intent.
And get this, they actually finished 2024 with a bit of momentum. Started 0-7, but won 4 of their last 7 games.
So a rough year overall, but maybe signs of life late. And then they make that big trade. Definitely signaling a change.
And fueling that change, they've got a new head coach, Liam Cohen.
Ah, right. Coming from the champion Tampa Bay Bandits. Who's their OC?
That's a coach with recent success, championship pedigree, winning offensive scheme.
And that's huge, right? A coach like that, from that background, often wants his guy at quarterback, someone to build around.
Makes sense.
And getting the #1 pick via trade lets him do exactly that.
And Caleb Williams, the resume is there, according to the source. Won the Heisman in 22.
The big one, yeah. Most outstanding player in college football.
Set school records at USC that year, too.
Yeah.
The list of awards for just 2022 is, it's long. Maxwell Award, Walter Camp, AP Player of the Year, SM Player of the Year, unanimous All-American.
Unanimous All-American. Wow. So every major outlet agreed.
Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year, first team All-Pac-12. It goes on.
An incredibly decorated season. He was the guy that year, no question.
The source notes Matthew Stafford is the current starter in Baltimore, calls Williams the heir apparent.
Okay, so a bridge situation, potentially.
Seems like it. But it's interesting, right? Why does a team with a veteran QB invest so much, the trade capital, the #1 pick, in another QB?
Well, I think it ties right back to that new coach, Cohen.
Yeah.
He wants to establish his program, his vision.
Right.
Stafford can start, maybe for a year, maybe two.
Yeah.
Takes the pressure off Williams immediately. But getting Williams, that's the long-term plan. That's the face of the franchise Cohen can mold in his system. It's a future move, really.
Makes sense. Okay, moving to pick #2, Detroit Wheels.
Another team needing a big change?
Yeah, they finished 2-12 last year. Offense 15th, defense 14th. This mock has them taking Jaden Daniels, QB from LSU.
Okay, another top QB off the board.
And the source says Detroit's moving on from veteran QB Aaron Rodgers.
Right. End of an era there.
And they also have a new head coach, Kellen Moore. Source says he'll want to put his own stamp on the team.
So a very similar situation to Baltimore in some ways. New coach comes in, but here seems like the break from the veteran QB is immediate. Moore gets to pick his guy right away and build around Daniels from day one.
And Daniels also comes with, elite credentials. He won the Heisman just last year, 2023.
So back-to-back Heisman winners going 1 and 2.
Yep. His 2023 awards list is also stacked. Walter Camp, College Football Player of the Year. Davey O'Brien.
The Davey O'Brien, that's for the best QB specifically.
Manning Award. John Unitas, Golden Arm, Consensus All-American, First Team All-SEC, plus SEC Male Athlete of the Year in 2024.
Wow. So comparing them based on this source, Williams had that monster 22 season. Daniels had a similarly dominant 23, plus that broader athlete award. Both obviously arrived with huge expectations, potential cornerstones for these new coaches.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's look at teams adding offensive weapons, specifically wide receivers. This mock sees 5 go in the top 20.
Yeah, that really highlights how crucial those dynamic pass catchers are now, especially if your offense is struggling through the air.
So, at pick 3, the Pittsburgh Maulers, they were the Berlin Thunder last year, finished 3-11.
Right.
13th ranked offense, 14th passing offense. They take Marvin Harrison Jr., WR from Ohio State.
Makes a ton of sense for a team needing to jumpstart that passing game. Yeah, Harrison Jr.'s pedigree is top tier.
And Pittsburgh gets Mike Tomlin back as head coach, which is notable. Harrison Jr.'s resume, wow. Fred Biletnikoff Award winner in 23.
Best receiver in the nation.
2-time unanimous All-American. Big Ten MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. 2-time Big Ten Receiver of the Year. 2-time First Team All-Big Ten.
That is.
Yeah.
That's about as good as it gets for a college receiver.
Yeah.
An absolutely elite track record.
So how does a guy like that immediately impact a struggling passing offense?
Instantly. He becomes the #1 target.
Yeah.
He draws extra attention, double teams sometimes. That alone just opens things up for everyone else. His presence just elevates the whole unit, gives the QB a go-to guy.
Okay, pick 5. New York Generals. They finish 4-10. They take Malik Neighbors, WR from LSU.
Now, New York's offense, that was rough last year.
Oh, yeah. The source is ranked last overall and last in passing.
Dead last in both. Yikes. That just screams, get us some playmakers.
Well, they do have a top 5 defense, apparently. And head coach Dan Quinn is in his 2nd year. Neighbors was unanimous All-American and First Team All-SEC in 23.
Okay, so you have this really strong defense, potentially good enough to win games, but the offense is holding them back massively.
Seems like it.
Neighbors brings that explosive potential. He can be exactly what they need to find some balance and actually score some points.
Makes sense. All right, down at pick 9. DC Defenders. They were 5-9 last year, 18th offense, 19th passing offense. They draft Rome Odunze, WR from Washington.
Okay, another team needing offensive help, 19th in passing, that's bottom 3rd territory. Head coach Jared Mayo looking for weapons.
And this one's interesting because their QB, CJ Stroud, he was the league's #1 pick last year.
All right, and won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, so they're pairing him with Odunze, who is a consensus All-American, 2-time First Team All-Pac-12.
Now that's exciting. You take a top rookie WR and pair him with your young star QB who just won Rookie of the Year.
Right.
That could seriously accelerate Stroud's development. It directly addresses that passing game weakness, could really boost that whole offense.
Let's jump to pick 16. Now we see a winning team adding talent, Memphis Express.
Yeah, 11-3 last year. Made the playoffs 3 of the last 4 seasons under Coach Vrabel. Pretty consistent.
And they take Brian Thomas Jr., another receiver from LSU. He was 2nd Team All-SEC in 23.
So this is different, right? A playoff team picking later in the first. What are they looking for?
Good question.
Often it's about adding complementary pieces. Not necessarily a foundational star, but someone who adds another dimension. Thomas Jr. coming off a good year in the SEC. Could be that guy for an already solid offense. Keeps them competitive.
Okay, last receiver in this group. Pick 19. Las Vegas Outlaws.
The dominant team. 12-1-1 record. Just missed back-to-back titles.
But despite all that success, the source notes their passing offense was only ranked 18th.
Interesting. So even the top teams have areas they want to improve. 18th isn't disastrous, but for a team that close to a championship.
They want better. They take Xavier Worthy, WR from Texas. His resume is solid. 2-time first-team All-Big 12, freshman All-American back in 21.
So this looks like a top team identifying a specific relative weakness, the passing game efficiency or explosiveness, and trying to fix it to get over that final hump.
How does a dynamic guy like Worthy help an already great team?
He might bring something they lack. Maybe it's pure speed, stretching the field. Maybe it's return ability. Something that makes their already good offense even harder to stop, adds that extra gear for the playoffs.
Gotcha. Okay, let's pivot now. Let's talk about the trenches, offensive and defensive lines. This mock draft shows a lot of investment here in the top 20.
As it should. Games are won and lost up front, right? Even if the QBs and WRs get the headlines. Building through the lines is key.
Baltimore again, their second first-rounder at number 4. They take Joe Alt, tackle from Notre Dame.
Makes perfect sense after taking Williams at 1.
Source notes his size, 6'9", 322 pounds, and his achievements. Unanimous All-American 23, first-team All-American 22.
You take your potential franchise QB, your next move has to be protecting him. Alt is considered one of the very best tackles available. For a team whose offense was dead last, improving the line is fundamental. Protect the QB, help the run game. Foundational move.
Pick 8. Atlanta Legends, formerly Paris Legends, 10-4 record last year. They select J.C. Latham, tackle from Alabama.
Okay, Atlanta's been good under D'Amico Ryans. Made the playoffs his first 2 years.
And they got this pick, remember, from the LA Wildcats. Traded Stephon Diggs for it.
Right, so even successful teams keep investing in that O-line. Protect the QB, open running lanes. Latham was first-team All-SEC, comes from a powerhouse program, just keeps the standard high.
Birmingham also makes their second first-round pick, this one at #10. They select Olu Fashanu, listed as guard tackle from Penn State.
Now, Birmingham, we need to remember the context here. 7-7 record, 16th offense.
Right. And the source specifically mentions Coach Doug Pederson is entering year 3, and insiders are calling it a crucial make-or-break year.
Pressure's on.
And we'll get to their other pick soon, but they took a QB earlier in this mock. Fashanu's resume, consensus All-American, Big Ten O-Lineman of the Year, first-team All-Big Ten in 23, also second-team All-Big Ten in 22.
Okay, so let's connect the dots. Coaching pressure.
Yeah.
You trade up for a QB, then you double down with a top O-lineman like Fashanu.
What's the strategy there?
You're giving that new QB the best possible chance to succeed, and quickly. Better pocket, more time, better run support. It's about improving that offense now to get wins, and frankly, probably help the coach keep his job. It's an aggressive move focusing entirely on offense.
Makes sense. Pick 13, Chicago Fire. 7-7 last year, 15th ranked defense. They take Talise Fuaga, tackle from Oregon State.
Fuaga was first-team All-American, first-team All-Pac-12 last year.
So their defense ranks middle of the pack, maybe a bit lower.
Yeah.
But they go offensive line.
Yeah, it shows that even with needs elsewhere, solidifying that protection, building the run game foundation, it's often seen as a top priority. You can't ignore the O-line.
Pick 14, Cleveland Gladiators, used to be Rome Gladiators. Winning record 9-5. They draft Amarius Mims, tackle from Georgia.
Mims was part of those 2 Georgia national championship teams.
Interesting trend there, maybe. Winning teams drafting from winning college programs.
Could be. It's about bringing in guys who know what it takes, reinforcing that winning culture, adding talent from proven environments, strengthen the line.
Okay, pick 18, Philadelphia Stars, formerly London Knights, impressive 11-3 record last season.
Successful team.
But the source highlights some specific struggles despite the record. Rushing offense ranked 18th, run defense ranked 15th.
So even good teams have weaknesses they want to address.
At 18, they take Graham Barton, center from Duke, second-team All-American 23, 2-time first-team All-ACC.
This is interesting. A successful team targeting those specific weak spots.
Yeah.
Run game on offense, run defense.
How's the center help both?
The center is critical. Makes line calls, anchors the middle and pass pro, but he's also pivotal in setting up blocks for the run game. Center like a very direct attempt to improve in exactly those areas the source flagged. Smart drafting if it works out.
Last one in the trenches for now. Pick 20. The defending champs, Tampa Bay Bandits. 11-1 record.
Pantheon Bowl winners.
They take Tyler Guyton, tackle from Oklahoma. Source lists his size, 6'8", 322 pounds.
Like your fella.
And their stated goal, according to the source, looking to upgrade their offensive line.
So what's the champ's strategy here? Even after winning it all, they're not satisfied.
Right.
It's about reinforcing a strength, maybe adding depth, maybe addressing a subtle weakness only they perceive. Adding a huge physical presence like Guyton just makes their already strong line even tougher, trying to repeat.
Okay, let's circle back quickly.
Yeah.
We mentioned Birmingham took a QB earlier.
Right, before they took Fashion at 10.
At pick 6, this mock draft has the Birmingham Americans selecting Bo Nix, QB from Oregon.
And again, remember the context. Coach Pedersen, make or break year, 16th ranked offense.
They got this pick via trade, too, from the New Jersey Hitmen, sent QB Gardner Minshew and a 4th rounder.
So they traded away a veteran QB and traded up, essentially, using that capital to get Nix.
Nix achievements: Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year, first team All-Pac-12 in 23, and way back in 2019, SEC Freshman of the Year.
So you connect it all. The trade, the coach's situation, the middling offense. Drafting Nix here is the centerpiece of their hopeful turnaround. He brings a track record of high-level play. The hope is he's the spark they need to jumpstart that offense and get results for Pedersen fast.
Okay, let's flip to the defensive side of the ball now. This mock has 4 defenders going in the top 20.
Just as important, right? Got to short the defense, especially for teams that struggled there last year.
Pick 7, San Diego Fleet, 6-8 record last season. Their defense ranked 19th, second to last in the league.
Ouch. Yeah, that needs fixing badly.
They take Byron Murphy,
Right.
defensive tackle from Texas. And they also have a new coach, David Shaw from Stanford.
So a team desperately needing D takes a D lineman high. Makes sense. What kind of impact can a guy like Murphy have right away?
Good question.
A disruptive DT.
What?
He can wreck plays from the inside, blow up running plays, push the pocket back on the QB, make life easier for the edge rushers and linebackers. Murphy's got the awards: Big 12 D Lineman of the Year, second team All-American, first team All-Big 12. Suggests he could be that impact guy.
Pick 11, Arizona Rattlers, 8-6
Right.
record, but defensively, not great. 18th overall defense, 18th versus the run, 16th versus the pass.
So struggling across the board on D.
They draft Chop Robinson, defensive end from Penn State, first team All Big Ten in 23.
Okay, another team with defensive issues, and they go for an edge rusher. How does getting pressure on the QB help, say, a struggling secondary?
Yeah.
Big time. If the QB doesn't have time to wait for routes to develop, he has to rush throws, make bad decisions. That leads to incompletions, interceptions. It takes a lot of pressure off your defensive backs. Robinson is known for that pass rush ability.
Atlanta, again, second first-round pick at #15. After taking tackle J.C. Latham earlier,
Right, they double dip in the first.
they add Quinion Mitchell, cornerback from Toledo. He was a 2-time first-team All-MAC selection.
So a playoff team adding secondary talent, they're not standing pat. What makes a corner attractive to a good team like this?
Yeah. What are they looking for?
Probably specific traits. Shutdown coverage ability, maybe ball skills, versatility to play different schemes. Mitchell's consistent recognition in his conference suggests he's got the talent to contribute to an already competitive defense, adding depth and skill.
Okay, last defensive pick in this top 20 group,
Yeah.
pick 17. St. Louis Battlehawks, formerly the Stars, 8-6 record last season.
Okay.
Now, they present an interesting split, according to the source. 13th ranked rushing offense, which is decent, but 19th ranked defense against the run.
So good running the ball, bad stopping the run. That's a contrast.
And they draft Terrion Arnold, cornerback from Alabama. His resume strong. First team All-American, first team All-SEC in 23. Also freshman All-American honors in 22.
Okay, this is interesting too. Their big weakness listed is run defense. But they take a cornerback. How does that work?
Yeah, seems counterintuitive, maybe.
Well, maybe not entirely. Having elite corners like Arnold, guys you trust in man coverage on the outside, it gives your defensive coordinator flexibility.
How so?
You might feel more comfortable stacking the box, bringing an extra safety down to help stop the run because you trust Arnold and your other corners to handle receivers one-on-one. So strengthening the secondary can actually indirectly help you address the run defense by freeing up other resources. Gives them strategic options.
Okay, that makes sense. One more pick to cover from this mock's top 20, the tight end.
Right, a position that's become such a huge weapon in today's game. Mismatch nightmare sometimes.
Pick 12, Denver Gold. They were the Mexico City Aztecs. Finish 8-5-1. They select Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia.
Bowers.
Wow.
His college resume is just insane.
He really is. The source lists 2-time national champion, 2-time John Mackey Award winner.
2 Mackeys. For the nation's best tight end. That's rare.
Unanimous All-American 23, First Team All-American 22, Second Team 21, SEC Freshman of the Year, 3-time First Team All-SEC, 21 through 23.
That level of consistent production and recognition, it's almost unprecedented for a tight end. Just dominant year after year.
So what makes an elite tight end like that such a game changer?
It's the versatility. He's probably too fast for most linebackers to cover, too big for most safeties or corners, creates mismatches all over the field.
Okay.
He can be your primary receiver, a red zone threat, a reliable third down target, even an effective blocker. Bowers proved he could do it all on the biggest stages in college. He's the kind of player who can impact the game in multiple ways from day one. Huge get for Denver if this mock holds true.
Wow. Okay, we've really covered a lot of ground there. Walk through the first 20 picks of this specific WFL 2025 mock draft from the WFL Inside Access show.
Yeah, and you can really see the patterns emerge, can't you?
Hmm.
You see teams clearly addressing those major weaknesses, those bottom-ranked offenses going hard after QBs and receivers.
Definitely. And you see the winning teams, the playoff teams, either reinforcing their strengths, like Tampa Bay with the O-line, or maybe targeting those smaller, specific areas for improvement, like Vegas with a receiver or Philly with the center.
And the transitions are key too, right? The new coaches coming in, wanting their guys, like in Baltimore and Detroit.
Yeah.
The new QBs potentially replacing veterans. Those big traits at the top, reshaping team futures.
Absolutely. This deep dive, really, it pulled out the essential details, the context, the insights from this one specific source. It gives you, the listener, a concentrated look at how these experts see the top of the WFL draft potentially playing out.
It's a snapshot based on their analysis.
Exactly. So, based only on what we've discussed today is specific team needs, the player achievements highlighted in this mock draft. Here's something for you to chew on.
Yeah.
Which of these player-team pairings do you think has the potential to make the single biggest immediate impact, like rookie season impact?
Ooh, good question. Or maybe think about it from a team strategy angle. Which team, based on these projected moves, maybe a team with multiple picks like Baltimore or Birmingham, or one involved in those big trades, which organization seems to be making the most significant strategic shift?
So there you have it. The crew at Inside Access making their predictions, reviewing the 2025 mock draft. Love to see your comments on the comments box on our YouTube channel. Not a subscriber? Make sure to do so today on the Replay Sports channel. Once again, WFL Inside Access weekly podcast is brought to you by Royal Retros, your ultimate one-stop shop representing the teams of the past. Head over to Royal Retros today to use the discount code REPLAY to get 10% off your purchase. The link is in the description. That's www.royalretros.com. Thank you again for joining us. We have some more off-season shows coming up. Make sure to like and subscribe. That way you'll get updates of when new programming becomes available. Have a great day.